Presidential polling is all over the place right now, making it hard to know who's actually in the lead. But it's because Americans are evenly split. Is it that the reason, or is media just getting worse at polling? I think it's both. I don't think you can trust a damn thing you read from polling. I remember New York Times came out with that article that the left went crazy about. My God, you would have thought that they were blowing up the world. The article where it showed that Biden was behind Trump in all the swing states, and the New York Times goes crazy about it, and every liberal progressive goes crazy about it. But it doesn't mean anything right now, does it? I mean, the guy that wrote this, who was it? Rex Huppel? Huppel. I don't know who the guy is. He says that he's a leading progressive, a leading political progressive, and he's looking at all this and he's trying to say, look at the things that can change between now and the election, right?
Yeah, and he makes a really good point here, because I want to read this. It says, Biden and Trump, as you may have heard, are up in years. One awkward fall or one health emergency, neither outside the realm of possibility, could reshape the race. And it's weird little things like that are absolutely accurate. Yeah. Because look, anytime Donald Trump goes out there and he slurs his words, anytime Biden says he just talked to somebody who actually died 10 years ago.
A ghost.
That's a big deal, and it does capture the headlines.
You know what I got to think about the other day? The fact that Trump is in a trial, keeping him in a trial out of going around saying stupid stuff, is probably helping him. I mean, if you really think about it. Because just like you said, any given day, God knows what he's likely to say. Any given day, Biden is likely to run into another wall or fall off the damn stage. You don't know what's going to happen. And that's what this writer says. He says, look, we don't know the economy could change. There's all these variables that could take place. But we get so focused on what the poll is. And we talk about those polls. Now, let me be very clear.
Yeah, absolutely.
We talk about the polls, but not for the reason to say it's over, but to say you might want to know this is important information, and whether it's relevant or not, I don't know. The war in Gaza. I mean, look what it's doing to Biden in just the last few weeks. Trump, I mean, who would have thought that his trial is actually increasing his popularity? You don't know.
Well, see, a lot of the things that I always kind of talk about on my videos isn't it strange that when you look at the polling aggregates going back 6 months all the way to today, the polling aggregates always show that they're usually within about half a point of each other?
Yeah.
Just never changes. It's always the horse race.
That is.
And that's why the media will put out this poll. Suddenly Biden's ahead today. Yeah. Tomorrow, Trump's ahead. Because people are, oh my God, what happened? And they click on the story, and as soon as you click, boom, they get the advertising dollars. It's a media creation at this point with the polling. Yeah. And polling has become so much less accurate in the last 10 years.
Look at the last two cycles.
Right.
I mean, they were off so dramatically.
They were wrong in 2016, 2020.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of caged monkeys trying to figure out what's going on out there. I don't know. Maybe we stop talking. The only reason we talk about polls is not because that is the definitive issue of the end of the election, but people ought to know what's being said out there.
Yeah.
But again, Trump can say another stupid thing. If he wins the trial, the projection is if he wins the trial,
he gets a huge boost.
A huge boost. You don't know what's going to happen with Biden.
Yeah.
He's going to say something that you don't. He's talking to dead people. He's running into walls. What the hell? You don't know what's going to affect those voters. So I don't know that polling is the way to worry right now.
Well, my degree is in political science, and part of that I had to take courses in how to conduct political polling. Mm-hmm. And the very first thing our professor said on day one, he said, if a poll ever has a margin of error of more than 3%, don't trust it, it's trash.
Really?
And I see every poll I look at now, that's the first thing I check. I've seen some come out this year where the margin of error will be 7 or 8%, more than double what the actual political scientists say, no, this is trash.
It's useless.
If it's over 3, don't even bother.
Farron Cousins, the best progressive in the business.
Thank
you for joining me, okay?
Appreciate it.
That's all for this week, but all of these segments are going to be posted right here on this channel in coming week, so make sure you subscribe. I'm Mike Papantonio, and this has been America's Lawyer, where we tell you stories every week that corporate media won't tell you because their advertisers won't let them. or their political connections won't allow for it, because if they're too Democrat, they can't color outside the Democrat lines. If they're Republican, they can't color outside those lines. We hope we make you mad every week. That's part of what we want to accomplish. We want you to think. And if you get mad doing that, we feel like we're a huge success. Hope to see you next week.
That it had helped dirty money flow through its branches around the world, including at least 800...
Plaintiffs allege that the defendants provided money and medical goods to terrorist groups Hezbollah and Jaish al-Mahdi.
This is a well-organized business for these individuals that carry out these attacks. Terrorism is a business, and they run it like a business.
They knew about what was going on for a decade. They absolutely, no question about it, knew that HSBC was washing money. They had every reason to understand it was for terrorism and it was for drug cartels. Took no action whatsoever.
These banks are involved. Their accounts are connected, and they're using them to mask the transactions. The more complicated they can make the transactions, the more distance they can put between the bad guys and a seemingly legitimate purpose of these funds.
They pay $1.9 billion, which is a drop in the bucket compared to what they've made, and nobody goes to prison. These CEOs, these bankers that made this decision, they're safe at home. They know what they've done. It's resulted in the death of Americans, contractors and soldiers, not just hundreds, but thousands. And we look the other way because they don't look like criminals. The die is cast. The people that are responsible are on Wall Street.
And they don't look like criminals. It's almost a suspension of disbelief. Sometimes I'll have people call me and say, is this real? Do they really get away with this? Yeah, they do.